Assalamu alaikum students, I hope you all are fine. Students, we are in unit 1, that is programming techniques, and today we will study some of the algorithm examples which are given in your book. So algorithms for solving some problems. Problem number 1 says to find the sum, product and average of 5 given numbers. This is the problem statement which will be given in the paper, and you have to figure out that what is given as an input and what are the processing requirements they are asking for, and what should be the output of this problem whenever we are solving it. So all these such type of information can be retrieved from this problem statement. So here we can see that we have been given 5 numbers as an input, and processing requirements are to perform a process for calculating the sum, product and average, and in output we have to display the value of sum, product and average. So first we have to decide the variables. For input numbers, there are 5 numbers which will be given as an input in this algorithm. We are deciding that n1, n2, n3, n4 and n5 are the 5 variables which will represent those 5 numbers which will be given in the input. So give 5 numbers n1, n2, n3, n4 and n5. Second, we have to calculate the sum, product and average. So we are declaring some variables for sum, product and average. This algorithm finds sum and the variable will be capital Sum. For product we are using the variable PRO in capital, and for average we will be using the variable AVG in capital, which will have the average of these numbers. Now step number 1 is read n1, n2, n3, n4 and n5. Read always represent an input operation in the algorithm. So here we are performing an input operation in step 1, which will read the values of n1, n2, n3, n4 and n5. Second step, once we have got the input of 5 values, now we can calculate the sum, and we will set the value of sum is equal to n1 plus n2 plus n3 plus n4 plus n5. After this we will set the value of PRO, which is the variable used for product, as is equal to n1 multiplied by n2 multiplied by n3 multiplied by n4 and multiplied by n5. Finally, the third value that we are calculating, that is the average of 5 numbers. So we will set the value of AVG, which is the variable used for average, is equal to sum that we have calculated in step 2, and we will divide it by 5 because there are total number of observations are 5. So we will divide the sum by 5, and this will give us the value of AVG, that is average. After this we have to display the value of sum, product and average as an output, and in algorithm we represent the output operation by write operation or write keyword. So step 5 is write sum, product and average, and step 6 is exit. Now problem number 2, to display the larger one out of the 3 given unequal numbers. We have been given with 3 unequal numbers, and we have to figure out that which one is the largest value out of the given 3 unequal numbers. That is the problem statement. So here first we have to decide the variables for those 3 numbers, that is n1, n2 and n3, that will represent the 3 unequal numbers given as an input. This algorithm finds the largest, and for that reason we have decided the variable, that is LARG, large number out of 3 numbers. So whatever the largest number, that will be stored inside the variable large. Now in step 1 we have to perform the input operation, that is read n1, n2, n3. to get those three unequal numbers as an input. Step 2. Now whenever we are comparing some values to find out the largest value, we need conditional instructions, and for that reason we will be using the if and else if statement. So first we will write the if statement and we will put the condition, and in first place we are comparing n1 with n2 and n3. So if n1 is greater than n2 and n1 is greater than n3, remember that we are using the AND operator over here, so which works just like multiplication. So it is necessary for this condition to be true that n1 must be greater than n2 and n1 must be greater than n3 also. Only then the whole condition will become true, and if this condition is true, then set the value of large is equal to n1. Let's say if this condition is not true, if the condition is false, then we will put another condition to evaluate the condition for n2, whether the n2 is the largest number or not. So for that reason we have to put else if, and we will compare n2 with n3, because with n1 it is already compared in the previous condition. So else if n2 is greater than n3, then set large is equal to n2. Now if both the conditions are not true and both are false, it means that neither n1 nor n2 are the largest values, and the total number of values are 3. So of course in this case this is obvious that the largest value is n3. So the final output will be else set large is equal to n3. Here we don't have to put any condition because we have already checked the conditions for n1 and n2, and if both the conditions are false, then of course the largest value is n3. So here the if structure ends. Now in step 3 we have to write or to output the value of large, and after this step 4 is exit. Okay, now problem number 3. It says to find acceleration of a moving object with given mass and the force applied. Simply a physics related problem, and the equation will be used, that is F is equal to ma. So in algorithm, this algorithm finds acceleration. For acceleration the variable will be used, that is accel of a moving object with given mass, and for mass we are using the same variable with the name mass in capital, and the force applied. Force is the variable in capital. First of all we have to read the value of mass and force as an input, and second we will just write the equation for calculating the acceleration. So set accel is equal to force divided by mass. After this display the value of acceleration. For that reason we will use the write operation, which presents the output in algorithm. So write accel, and step 4 is exit. Problem number 4 says to find the volume of a cube, cylinder or sphere. So here two things are required, that is volume of a cube and volume of a sphere or cylinder. This algorithm finds the volume of a cube, that is VC. VC represents volume of cube of edge length A. Remember that every edge of a cube is having the same length. So if we get the input value of the input value for each A, which is actually the length of each edge of the cube, so it means that we have got the length of every edge. And second, volume of a sphere, and the variable is Vs. Vs represents volume of sphere of radius r. So here r will represent the radius of the sphere. So step 1 is read A in R. A is the edge of cube and R is the radius of the sphere. Now first of all we will find the volume of cube. So set VC is equal to A cube, and A cube can be written as A multiplied by A multiplied by A. Step 3 is volume of sphere, and the formula is 4 divided by 3 pi r cube. So here we will write it as 4 divided by 3 multiplied by the value of pi, that is 3.14, and r cube can be written as r multiplied by r multiplied by r, that is r cube. And in step 4 we will just output the values of VC and VS, volume of cube and volume of sphere, and then exit. Fifth problem says to find the area of a triangle. In algorithm, this algorithm finds the area, and the variable will be area in capital of a triangle where B, capital B, is the length of the base of the triangle, and H is the height or altitude of the triangle. So first of all we will get the input values for B and H, and after this we will be able to find the area of the triangle. So the first step will be read B and H, that is the value of base and height. After this we will just set the value of area is equal to B multiplied by H divided by 2, that is the formula for finding the area of triangle. Step 3 is to display the area, and for that reason we will be using the write operation. So write area to represent the output, and then step 4 is exit. Okay students, now we are going to implement problem number 2, the algorithm of problem 2, which was to find the largest value out of 3 unequal numbers or values. So we are going to implement it in C language. For that reason I am using def C++ IDE. We'll open a new document. So it is to find the largest value out of 3 unequal numbers. Okay, first of all we have to include the header files, as we are writing the program in C language. That is the required header file. After this we have to write the main function, int main, and then body of the main function. Here first we have to declare the variables, as we need integer type of variables, and 1 and 2 and 3 to represent the 3 unequal numbers which will be given as an input. Then we need another variable with the name large. It will contain the largest value. Now first we have to input the values of n1, n2 and n3. For that reason we will be writing the statements, output and input statements. So first of all we will write a printf statement, which is an output statement. It will display the message enter value of n1. To input the value at runtime, we have to write the input statement. %d is the format specifier used for integer value in C language. And writing these two statements for all the three variables, that is n1, n2 and n3. I'm just copying it and just paste it into variable n2 and paste it, make it n3. Okay, so we have written the code to input the values of n1, n2 and n3. Now we will put some condition to figure out the largest value. For that reason we will be using the else if statement. First we are writing the if statement. First we will be comparing n1 with n2 and n3. If n1 is greater than n2 and n1 is greater than n3, then the value large is equal to n1. Here we write the printf statement to display the values. The largest value is equal to percentage and the variable which contains the largest value if the above condition is false, so we have to put an error condition for checking for n2 whether n2 is the largest value or not. So else if, and we are comparing n2 with n3 because it is already compared with n1 in the previous condition, so we don't need to compare it again with n1. Here we will just compare it with n3. So we are checking condition if n2 is greater than n3. If this condition is true, then set the value of large is equal to n2 semicolon and write down the same output statement which displays a message that the largest value is equal to %d for the specifier and the variable large. So if this condition is true, the value of n2 will be stored inside the variable large and it will be displayed as an output. Now we have checked the conditions for both n1 and n2. If both conditions are false, it means that n3 is the largest value. So we don't have to put any condition. In that case, in the else statement, we will just take the value of large is equal to n3 and we'll write the same printf statement which displays the largest value. %d and the variable large semicolon. This right return zero. So we have written this program. Now I'm going to compile this program. For compilation, it asks me to save the program. So here I will give it a name with the name large and save. See, there are no errors, no warnings are there, so it's correct. We'll compile it once again. Errors is equal to 0, warnings is equal to 0. After this we are going to run this program. So it asks me enter value of n1. Let's say the value is 34 and for n2 it's 56, and here let's say the value is 1 to 1. So here we can see that n2 is the largest value. Let's see what the program decides. So the largest value is 56. It is correct. Let me execute it once again. Put the value of n1 as 600, n2 as 400, and n3 as 300. So the largest value is equal to 600. The answer is correct. Let's execute it once again. So here I'll just put the values 26, 56, and n3, let's say that is the largest value, that is 90. So in all cases it gives correct results. So this is how you can implement problem number 2, which was to find the largest value out of 3 unequal numbers. So that's very easy. You can easily write the code to implement problem number 2 and algorithm number 2 given in your book in C language. Okay students, so if you have any question regarding these algorithms and as well as regarding this program, you can ask me in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe my channel Computer Edition Academy. Thanks a lot. Take care. Allah Hafiz.